Hello everyone, Spider here, back in with our Marvel content channel. This one being in their buff concept, and this one being for Civil Warrior, as you can see. And this isn't Civil Warrior's first buff. He's received a buff in the past, like a few years ago, but it wasn't that great. Like, it was a buff that was good on paper, but in terms of, like, actuality and, hands-on gameplay, there's a lot to not be desired. And I just wanted to make this buff to kind of strengthen this character, make his playstyle less impractical and tedious, and I also just really have a soft spot for Civil Warrior, so I think I want to give him another shot at a buff, because as we know, champions can receive multiple buffs. We saw it with Gamora, we're seeing it with Yondu, and I'm pretty sure there's and Luke Cage. I think there's a couple more examples, but yeah, just because a champion gets buffed does not mean that's it. So this is completely possible, and it's a Civil Warrior buff is on the table. But as always, these are purely fan-made and are not official, leaked, real, etc. This is just for fun. And like I said, my goals for the champion is to keep and strengthen his utility and make his playstyle less stressful and tedious. Now, for his always active, the combined powers of the Super Soldier Serum and Stark Tech render Civil Warrior immune to nullify and stagger effects. So that's staying, but we're also adding another component to his immunities, his pseudo immunities is armor reduction and weakness potencies are reduced by 50%. So, weaknesses, like I said, but anything that reduces armor, so armor breaks, anything that bypasses armor, I'm pretty sure critical hits would count towards this as well. They're all going to be reduced by 50%. So this could actually make critical hits almost the same as normal hits, if that's how it works in my mind. Since I know critical hits ignore armor, and I think since he reduces the armor reduction, it would probably counteract the critical hits. At least that's what I'm thinking. And for each armor up and Stark Fury active, Civil Warrior, he reduces bleed and poison potency by 10%. So it's not just going to be armor, it's going to be his armor ups and his furies. Because how old Civil Warrior was if you want to take something like Biohazard with him, you can't really go all in for your damage because you need those armor ups to counteract the bleed and poisons. And, without those 50 furies, Civil Warriors is hitting like a noodle. But since we are kind of buffing it where you can play with you can play with your furies to have that added damage, he's only going to reduce the bleed and poison potency by 10% instead of 25%. Also, I don't even think it's the potency. I think it's the duration or the chance to apply. So, but yeah. So normally it was you need 4 armor ups, but now you need 10 armor ups or furies. So I think that's a major buff, but we just did kind of balance it a bit. And all attacks. So we're keeping this as well. Every 4th hit thrown by either champion grants Civil Warrior an armor up buff for X seconds. So yeah, that's basically his base kit, and it's either champion. Either champion can even whiff attacks, and that counts towards these 4 hits. But on defense, it's every 3rd hit. So that's a new part of this, and it can just make him a lot more. He can ramp up a lot faster on defense and just be a little bit more tankier. All right, now we're getting into the part where we're just trying to kind of fix his play style, make it so you don't have to constantly be dashing back all the time. So with critical hits turn 2 armor up buffs into Stark Fury buffs, increasing attack rating by plus X for X seconds. Additionally, Stark Furies cannot have their duration reduced. So this is really good against annoying Mystic champions that have atrophy. So Kindred and Shadra has atrophy, and characters like Mojo who can reduce the duration of buffs. They can't really do that. So it's going to make them a lot more usable in certain fights where normally it's so easy to lose all of his fury buffs, but with here you kind of have those set values that won't really be disturbed whatsoever. And because you turn armor ups into fury buffs with critical hits, it allows you to be a lot more aggressive, and you don't have to be blocking as much, and you can be more proactive. And he will have a way to guarantee critical hits, so you can refresh these fury buffs. Because when gaining a Stark Fury buff, refresh all the Stark Fury buffs and gain X% of a bar of power. So yeah, this could be really nice, gives him a little bit burst of power gains to get to that special 1, which you will see is key to getting guaranteed critical hits. And with the heavy attack, inflict a heal block on the opponent for X seconds. That stays the same. Pretty good utility there, just have a heal block on the heavy attack. But for each tick of regen blocked, Civil Warrior gains an armor up buff. So this could be super, super good. He could ramp up super, super fast against like any high regen champ. So, you know, characters like any of the Wolverines. God, who has like regen? Like any of the Deadpools. God, I'm trying to blank. I know there's a lot of characters who have regen, but also just any kind of annoying notes. He can ramp up super, super fast with all these armor ups. And while blocking, for each armor up effect on Civil Warrior, he reduces the chance to be inflicted with damaging effects by 25%. So that could actually make a pretty good onslaught counter as well. Like, he could block his special one, and he doesn't have to worry about neuroshocks. Now, for all special attacks, during either champion special attacks, Civil Warrior's personal armor ups and Stark Furies are paused. This is super, super nice because, you know, how he is right now is if you're unable to, you don't have any armor ups and the opponent is in the middle of a special attack, you can't really refresh your Furies, and if you lose them, that's going to suck because then you have to ramp up all the way again. And critical hits turn an additional 2 armor buffs into Stark Fury buffs. So yeah, special attacks are going to be really, really good for, you know, ramping up even faster than just relying on critical hits. But even as a 7-star, if you put on the stat focus of the crit, and you have the critical hit mastery, his ramp is probably going to be a lot more faster. And for the special one specifically, if the opponent's back against the wall, this attack is a guaranteed crit. So yeah, right off the bat, if you're just going, you know, you just want to ramp up as fast as possible, probably use the special one, try to get them in the corner, because not only do you transform those armor ups into Furies, but since it's special attack, you gain 2 additional more Furies for armors, so you can gain up to 4 with a single special one, and yeah, pretty good. And Civil Warrior gains 5 armor up buffs and pauses heal blocks, power locks, and armor ups for X seconds upon hitting the opponent. So yeah, special one, pretty darn crucial. Honestly, like the other 2 special attacks, you don't really need to use them as much as compared to the special one, in my opinion, because the special one is really just all about getting ramped up. And then probably once you're ramped up, then you could probably go for the special 2, maybe special 3. But yeah, special 1, very crucial for his rotation, just like how it kind of is right now. And for the special 2, upon activation, the opponent's power is burned, burning X% of the opponent's max power and dealing X damage based on the power burned. Civil Warrior gains an unblockable buff for 3 seconds if the opponent is blocking upon activation, and if Civil Warrior hits the opponent after triggering this unblockable, all hits can inflict a critical power burn. So similar to if it's Iron Man with his critical power burns, that's now... Oh, you okay, Dozer? Sorry, my dog just coughed. Okay, buddy? But yeah, similar to if it's Iron Man, Civil Warrior can have like huge damage with critical power burns. And now for the special 3. So the special 3 is pretty much the same. I do kind of like it, and combined with like the new special 1 being able to pause it, I think it could be really, really nice for like just like kind of finishing fights, making sure the opponent's not using power or stuff like that. But with the special 3, Civil Warrior drains the opponent's power to 0, inflicts him with a power lock debuff for X seconds. So yeah, this would be very, very nice. He has a lot of power control in his kit, and yeah, I definitely wanted to keep that because yeah, at the end of the day, Civil Warrior may kind of be trash right now, but he has some nice utility with being able to reduce the poison bleeds. He has a nice heal block on his heavy attack, and he has really nice power control at the end of the day. And for his awakened ability, Civil Warrior starts the fight with 1 to 2 armor up and Stark Fury buffs for X seconds. So this could just be very nice. Once he's at max sig, he starts with 4 of each, and it just provides some really nice ramp. And if we go back to the second line here, for each armor up or Stark Fury active on Civil Warrior, he reduces poison and bleed potency by 10%. That just makes it so if you're at max sig, he already starts with a 80%, an 80% decrease to bleed and poison potency, which is pretty huge just for the start of the fight. And again, special attacks, Civil Warrior can decrease incoming damage by X to X% for each armor up effect on Civil Warrior. So that could actually be very nice on defense specifically, but you know, it could come in handy if you eat a special 3 and you just happen to have a lot of armor ups on you. That could be very, very nice. But I do think that's going to come into play more so on defense, and he's going to be a bit of a stall champion with the high sig. But yeah, that's my take on Civil Warrior. If I was to buff him again, like I said, I really like Civil Warrior. He is probably one of, like, I definitely consider him to be, like, probably my top 20 favorite champions. And, yeah, it's just a shame that he's not the greatest. He's definitely one of the coolest looking champions, but I personally like him. I know a lot of people don't really like his playstyle. But even with that said, you know, his playstyle can be a bit wonky. And there's definitely a lot of times where I am still losing all my Furies, and it's so freaking mad. And I get so freaking mad, but yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know any other characters you want to see me buff or just make concepts for in the future. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.